open a new file. Let us think the program is, okay. Let us think the program is to find the sum of two numbers. Let us think the program is to find the sum of two numbers. So let us see how to do that, okay. Right. So the program is to find the sum of two numbers. Right. So let us see how to do this. So first of all, we have the user's interaction in this. Let us allow the user to input the two numbers. Okay. So let us have a variable named as num1. Let me have a variable named as num1. Right. Then we can assign the value which the user is going to input in that num1 variable. So let me say input. The message that should be given to the user is enter first number. Enter the first number. Then let us have another variable to assign the second value which the user is going to input. And let me give the name of the variable as num2. Assign whatever the value that the user is going to give as the input as the second for the second number. Input enter second number. Enter the second number, right? So now we can have a variable named as sum, and we can assign the value of addition of num1 plus num2. So what happens in this scenario is when the user enters the first number, the value will be assigned to the variable num1, right? The value will be when the user enters the first number, the value will be assigned, whatever the value the user inputs will be assigned to the variable num1. And when the user enters the second number, inputs the second number, it will be assigned to the variable num2. So now in the sum variable, we are going to assign the addition of num1 plus num2. Okay. Whatever the value inside the num1 variable and whatever the value inside the num2 variable which the user has input will be added and assigned to the sum variable. So that's the scenario we are going to look here. So in this scenario, for sum, I can say sum assignment num1 plus num2. Num1 plus num2. Then finally we can print, right? We can print whatever the value inside this sum variable will be printed. So we can say print sum is sum. We are going to print the sum. Then press enter and let me run this. So before running, we need to save this. The source must be saved. OK to save. So click on OK. So we have saved. Now we can run this. Okay, run. Once you run, it's asking you to enter the first number, right? It's asking you to enter the first number. So we can give a number. So let me give the first number as 50. Then it will be asking enter the second number. So let me give the second number as 40. So we know that the sum must be 90. So let us check whether we are getting the answer. Now you can see that sum is not 90 but 5040. The reason, the logic behind this is by default, right? By default, when you input the value, the Python take the default format string. The Python take the default format string. So if you see this, right, we are using input, right? So we are using input. So by default, the Python will be taking this as a string. So the first number which we assign is 50. So this will be taken by the Python as a string, and the num2 we gave the input as 40. So this will be entered, assigned to the num2 as 40. So when you are going to add the string, it is going to be concatenation. So these will be combined together. That is the logic. That is the reason why we are getting 5040 here. That is the reason why we are getting 5040. So if you want to perform the calculation, you need to change the string default to the integer. So let us see how to do that now, right? Let's see how to do that now. So here I'm going to make a small change. Here I'm going to say change it to the integer. Change it to the integer. So I'm going to say int. Here I need to open a bracket and close it here. Here also I need to change it to the int. Why we are changing it to the int? Because the Python by default it takes the value as string. That's the logic, right? Now if I run, right? Now if I run, so let me run this and let us check. So if you run this now, you can notice, so it's asking for the first number. So let me give the first number as what? Let me give the first number as 50, right? 50, and it's asking enter the second number. Let me give 40. So 50 plus 40 is going to be 90. So now you can see its sum is 9. So this is the logic you need to understand. So by default, the Python uses string. You can change it to the integer, right? When necessary. Right. So now let us see another small program, right? Another small program, right? Let us see small program of finding the perimeter of a rectangle, right? Finding the perimeter of a rectangle. Finding the perimeter of a rectangle. So that's the thing. Right. So let us see. So I wanted you guys to pause the video and try this by yourself. And after that, please watch it because ICT means logic, nothing to memorize, right? So that's the reason your logic need to be developed when you are learning subjects, right? ICT, right? So let us see this. I want to try this by yourself, okay? After that, so pause the video, try that, and after that you can watch the video. So let me see. Let me right. So let me take a variable named as L assignment integer. I'm going to by default Python it's going to take string, so I'm going to convert it into integer. L assignment integer input. So whatever we are allowing the user to input in this scenario as well. So enter the length. Enter the length. The rectangle. Okay. The length of the rectangle. Next, let us say for the breadth, let me give the name of the variable as b, and whatever the value that the user enters for the breadth will be assigned to the variable b int input. Enter the breadth of the rectangle, right? Right. So now let us, so we know how to calculate the perimeter. So let me assign a variable as p. Assignment we know. So brackets 2l plus b. P assignment 2 into within brackets l plus b. L plus b. P assignment 2 into l plus b. So what happens here is, so whatever the value the user enters for the length of the rectangle will be assigned to this variable L, and whatever the value the user enters as the breadth of the rectangle will be assigned to the variable B. And to find the perimeter, we are going to add L plus B and multiply it by 2. That value will be assigned to the variable P. That's the logic you need to understand here. So then we can say print perimeter of rectangle is right. Let us try running this. Okay, save it. Okay, all right. So it's asking now to enter the length. So let me enter the length as 20, then breadth as 10. Now you can see the perimeter of rectangle is 60. So we got the output. Okay, we got the output. So this is how you should uh, code using Python. Then let us try one more. So what if we could develop a program? Now we are going to develop a program to find whether that student has passed or failed in a particular subject based on the marks given. So first of all, I wanted you to try this because ICT is a subject which goes with logic, nothing to memorize. So try this by yourself. After, by pausing the video, after that you can check whether your answer is correct, right? So let me come. So here it's going to be finding whether a student is passed or failed, right? Finding whether a student is passed or failed based on the marks given. So if we say if marks is 50 or if marks is greater than 50, if marks is equal 50 also pass, or if marks is greater than 50 also pass, right? Marks must be greater than or equal to 50. If the marks is greater than or equal to 50, then the student has passed in the particular subject, right? Greater than or equal 50. 50 means also pass, more than 50. 90 also pass. Suppose if the student less than 50, then fail. 49 fail. 1 marks fail. So remember that logic and let's start working in this problem. Okay. Right. So let us see how to do. So I wanted you guys to try this first. Okay. So let me assign. Let me have a variable named marks. Then equal int input. Enter your marks. I'm going to give a message to the user to enter the marks. Enter your marks. And now I'm going to say if mark greater than or equal to 50, greater than or equal to 50, then I'm going to say print pass. Print pass. Else what should be print? Fail. Else need to print fail. Okay. fail. Right, so this is what you need to know. So here what happens here basically is, right, so when you enter, right, so when the student enter the marks, any value that the student enter will be assigned to the variable named marks. Then the value assigned the variable will be compared whether it's greater than or equal to 50. Suppose if it's equal to 50, then pass. Suppose it's greater than 50, then also pass. But if it is lesser than 50, then fail will be printed. Let us see how this works. So let me run the code. Save it if we want. So now you can see it's asking to enter marks. So let me say the marks is 50. So if the marks is 50, you know, it must be pass. Yes, pass. Then, right. So what if we say the marks as something 49? It's going to fail. Right. So that's the logic you need to understand in this. Right. Okay, then let us say what if marks is like 90? Right. What if the marks is like 90? So let us say 90. Then also pass.